Hello.
Hello, Jaime.
Ah, I.
What happened, Jaime?
I know is only that I think that is not. I didn't hear anything.
Okay, no worries.
It's because it is
Maybe
just
the teacher is waiting for the other classmates.
yes,
Okay.
it is only 8 and 1 minute.
Yes,
Okay, teacher.
relax, Jaime. Great.
Sorry.
I think that he said sorry, right?
Hmm.
Can you listen to me?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so let's see. We have Rafael, Sara, Jaime, Luis.
Oh, you
Okay.
have a picture, Rafael.
Rafael has a picture.
A picture. Yes.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, Rafael.
uh, Good evening, people.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You are talking about my picture. It's just that I joined through my phone because I'm having problem with my computer because of the microphone.
Okay.
Okay, don't worry. Okay, so who's missing?
Hello.
Wilton,
Carolina Riascos.
Carolina, Noemi, and well,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Cesar is not going to show up
No, he can
so
hear.
far. Mm-hmm.
He can.
He can come. Oh my God. Hmm. Yeah. Okay, so let's give a couple of minutes more, and then we are going to start.
Okay, teacher, but I could ask a question for you about my lesson plan because I sent to you the last Sunday my second version,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't see the
The feedback.
feedback about it. Yeah, so and I have to recording tomorrow because my students are not going to be at Saturday because they have a presentation in their school
Mm-hmm.
related with the Holy Ash. So tomorrow is mandatory for me to record the video. So I would like to know if you are agree with my change or not.
Okay. I would like to ask you, what did you change?
Only the final tax, only the last part, the final tax.
But I think that you didn't understand well what I tried to say, because what you did was to omit the part in which they speak about themselves, and just change it to an activity talking about someone else. That's what you did, right?
Yes, but I changed it. So you told me in my lesson part that this is an activity, no the final tax. So I changed and I consider that other activity, bueno, other tax.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Okay, so far, do it that way. This is something that I have to say today. I'm going to tell you you can do it that way so far. Okay, I have
Okay.
checked all the lesson plans, and I want to analyze the lesson plan with the video, but with you, right?
Okay.
So I would like to
Okay.
see some things next class about the lesson plan and the video at the same time, right? So do it in that way, please.
I
I
The
finished
second
my
version or the first version?
It is for everybody. The second version.
The second version, okay.
I changed my planning too.
Yes, I
Actually,
know.
it was. Oh, you already checked it. Okay.
Yes, I checked all of them.
Oh, because
The thing is that I didn't write anything back to anybody, but I have checked
you
all of.
you let in the cat.
Huh?
You let in the cat. You did things silently.
Yes, yes, I did.
Because I actually I realized what you said the hard way because I have the same course in the morning and the afternoon. So I went away with my class in the morning. It didn't go that well. Actually, it was lame, and even that, and on top of that, I was observed that morning.
Mm-hmm.
So in our institute, we don't have like mentors or like the coordinator observing, but coaches. So they just ask you and ask you questions like to get you to a certain point, but they never tell you what they expect or I mean they try to guide you with your answers with your own answers to like to a solution or to enlightenment, as to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I made some changes for the afternoon and tried with some things they said, and it went way better, way better. So I realized the hard way about the comments you told me.
Okay. Yes,
So thank you.
I wanted you to notice this. Okay.
That's good.
That's why I want to do the activity with you all together, right? That's why. I want to analyze what you did, what you planned, and what you did.
Mm,
Okay.
thank you one more time.
No, thank you. Okay, I have a question. What do we have to do today?
Sorry, teacher, could you repeat?
What what do we have to do today?
Well, you said like
Where,
last class that we
Uh,
were going to discuss something about the movie, something like that,
yeah,
or see
Okay, it is not a movie, Rafael, but okay.
documental,
documentary. Yes,
or something
documentary.
like that.
Documentary. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Sorry
teacher,
about it.
we have a question about the activity one. We have to send you the file, but where is the place to upload?
What is the what? Sorry.
where can
Where?
we upload?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I didn't understand.
Last week we have to send the activity 1 and 2 about the documental or movie, right?
Yeah.
But remember
Where?
that you
Yes, I said that for today you have to do
for
something.
today the activity 1 has
One
to send you. So
part two.
part 1, yes, activity 1, yes. So the part 1, yes. And so my question is where we can upload this part.
Yes, you are right. Okay, but it is for today.
Yes, it's for today.
Okay.
But we didn't found, sorry,
Didn't
we didn't find, yes, we didn't find the
Yeah.
file or place to
Yeah, you're
upload.
right. You're right. You're right. Okay, give me a second.
Okay,
You
1
have it
second,
there?
finish.
You have it there?
Sorry?
You have the sorry, you have the paper there?
No, it's not open here right now, but
Because for today, task 4. Okay, if you have the link there, what you're going to do is to send the link, to send the document.
okay.
Send the document to my email, please.
Your email? Okay.
Sorry, teacher, this is about the task for the last week?
Yep.
Okay.
For the last.
The last homework, no, this one.
Yeah, the last one.
Okay. They are fixing something. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Ready. So let me see. How many students do we have now? So we are all right now. So we are going to start the class. Remember that one of the ideas that we have is to watch this movie, this movie. You see, Rafael? To watch this documentary about education in Latin America and to start analyzing the points. So what I want you to do today is to start like a conversation. Wilton is not alone, so I have to close your microphone. We are going to start like the conversation around this. I know that you work in groups, so I would like you to start portraying or saying the points that you highlighted, right? Remember that we have like 2 different aspects to discuss about this task number 4, right? Especially about the video. Yep, so I would like you to start saying which aspects do you notice, and we are going to start discussing. Okay, so who wants to start?
Sure, but how it is the way as a group or?
Give me 1 point, Rafael. Go ahead.
Well, I would like to
When
say
you say
something
sorry,
about it.
sorry, Rafael. When you say as a group, is that you say 1 point and another point, or you are the person in charge of all the group? No, my idea is that everybody is going to discuss about.
Yeah, I know, but everybody, I mean, a group with other groups, and I don't know, or
But what is, I don't understand you.
because you said that we're going to start the discussion, but so group by group
No, everybody.
or everybody, we
Yes,
say something, we
everybody.
participate, and then.
Yes, a discussion. It is not like a presentation or something like that. It is a discussion. So we are going to listen to you, for example, giving the first point, and we are going to discuss about it. If someone has something to say additionally, he is going to or she is going to say that about it, right? So we can start
Okay.
a discussion based on the movie and based on the documentary and based on what you wrote as a group, right?
Yeah, well, I would like to mention something. Uh, can we start? Yes.
Right.
Okay. Well, I would like to start talking about it um, by quoting the following. Um, Everybody, I know that you have listened to this quote and it's very famous. And everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, he will live his whole life believing that it is stupid. Some people attribute this to Albert Einstein, but well, I don't know who is the author. The truth is something very real that is a critic for our education system. Yeah, and so the question in this part is what should we do as teachers against this? Because nowadays education system is like, for me, is like an enemy of education, and well, thousands of students and many teachers, a lot of teachers, uh, I include me because I was and I have been, and I know that many people have been victims of this system. And when we talk about the word system, it is, for me, my opinion, is something like Machiavellian or something evil, because uh, a system doesn't allow a mistake. When we make a comparison of a system, and for example, in computers, something is wrong in a language or a programmation, something like that. When something is programming or an operating system, if there is a mistake, something doesn't work. For example, if there is a mistake on the hard disk, the computer doesn't work. And well, I'm doing this comparison because the system of education is something like that, uh, and has involved teachers on this. The system of education says everything is going to be like that, the rules and the guidelines, and it's like a jail. So mistakes are not allowed sometimes. Sometimes teachers, well, a lot of teachers, they want that everything has to be correct. Everything has to be like the way it is, and we don't recognize and we don't realize that we are trying with human beings, that we make mistakes, a lot of mistakes to learn, and like to to improve our abilities. And uh, well the question is, what should we do? What should we do against this, against the education system? And I will start by saying that we have, as teachers, we have autonomy in our classes. We can decide what to do, how to teach, what to teach in a different way, to transform, to change the way our students feel inside the classroom. Because sometimes I'm talking about it because I have done that. And and when we feel stressed about many things, about the discipline, about every I mean about everything, we don't realize that students, we don't care about how they feel. We just want everything is correct, everything is good, and we start by qualifying and scoring one from 1 to 5, and just that. So I think that is an important opportunity to think about a different way, a different manner, more tolerant, um, and not to take care too much about the system. Yes. Well, teacher, it is like my opinion about it. Thank you
Okay,
for
so
the space.
okay, so who wants to continue?
Me, teacher.
Go ahead.
Uh, me or another person?
I suppose that you, Tanya.
Okay. Well, I really like the movie because it showed the real business that education is. I like the way that they do that we see that we want to change the way we dedicate, we dictate our classes. For example, in my personal experience, the way that I teach in my new school is pretty similar to what the film intends. I feel that is more possible to change the way to teach in a private school because they are a little more flexible. But in public education, it's a little bit complicated because it is governed by the government. For example, this year I'm learning enseñanza para la comprensión. I don't know if you know
Yes,
where
I
is.
Oh,
know.
both, of course I
Uh-huh.
have.
Yeah, so this year we start to teaching in that with that approach, with that method, and it is pretty similar because, for example, the idea that students haya vivencial, real
Experience.
knowledge
Mm-hmm.
experiences. Uh, they learn through their experiences, real context, no notebooks, no sheets, no nothing like this. So it is interesting for me because it's a new thing, it's a new way to teach, of course, because I think that most of teachers we teach by the traditional uh, way in a moment in our lives, in our professional lives.
Okay, I want to say something about what you have said, Tanya. You were
Okay,
mentioning
teacher.
you were mentioning that the contexts are different, the private and the public schools.
Hmm.
And you say that public schools has some restriction. I mean, they have some restrictions because they have to stick to the government. But I have to tell you that in most of the cases, uh, it is not true. They
Hmm.
don't. They have restrictions in a certain way. However, they are free in other ways. Even I can say that public education, in public education, you can do even more things than in private education sometimes.
Okay.
Because sometimes what you do, okay, this is my experience because I have been in both levels, in both scenarios. Because in private education, what you have to do is what the school wants you to do. Because they have a name, they have a recognition, they have a level, blah, blah, blah. Right? So they impose like the methodologies that they want to implement, and they ask you to do something in order the class improves a little bit more. On the other hand, in public schools, those restrictions are there. I mean, there are some things that they have to do. However, they are free in the way they deliver the class, even even more than uh, public or private, than in private schools. That's my perception, right? So
Yes.
it's kind of complicated that we cannot say that we can do something else in here or in there. And it is just like a fortune that you have this enseñanza para la comprensión. Also, enseñanza para la comprensión is a little bit more, uh, I don't know, sometimes it is misunderstood. Okay, so
Yes.
But when the school is on the way of enseñanza para la comprensión, it's interesting. They have very good results, right? So anyway, thank you for your comment, Tania. That was a
Thank you,
good,
teacher. Thank you very
very
much.
good thing. Okay. Okay, who else who wants to participate?
Me teacher Noemi.
Noemi, go ahead.
Yes, I think that I agree with all the things that you talk about, but I think that we can focus on two big problems that we have right now. One of them is that the is inside the classroom. Is in this point we need to say that we have a big problem, and is that we are killing every day the creativity of the students because we are imposing do this, do it that way, and doing that way, and we are not let them to think. We are not let we don't let them to feel free, and as a result we have students that they are not autonomous because we don't let them to think, no? For example, in my school I start to work with them, and I start to speak about the topic of the day, and I I wait, no? I hope they will make a question about the topic, and no, they raise the hand and they make a question related to where they can start to write. Teacher, where I can start to write with which color, black or red, no? Because the important thing is the method and not the subject. So this is the first problem. We need to let the student to feel free to start to explore his or her creativity. And the second big problem, and this is very difficult, no? But the second problem is that our system, our education system, is not well proportionated, is not well adequate, I don't know how to say, to our country, because we are imposing here systems that are working outside for European countries, but is not working in our country. So as a result, we don't have, for example, any focus, on any subject. We are just teaching a lot of knowledge, but without any goal. We need to start to make to work in different ways to break this educational system, no? For example, it's a good idea where I think it's in Swiss, I think, or Norway, they start a new system. They give the student very different
Finland.
tools. Finland, okay, yes,
Finland.
Finland, okay.
Mhm.
And they give, for example, a big house, and in each room they have a different subject, music, but they don't see just music, they see different instruments. They start to see how the instrument is building. In another room they have, for example, a design, so they start to see not just clothes, design, how they build the clothes and everything about it. For example, like this in every subject. After that, after they give the students a very big base and support, they let the student to choose what they want to learn. So like this, they have already curiosity because they are learning what they want, not what the teacher want they to learn. That this is the difference. So
Mhm.
if we start to work with this system, for sure we will have students that they won't participate because they will study what they want, and they will be autonomous because they will start to build their career. So
Okay.
it's difficult, but
Yes, continue.
yeah, it's difficult, but I think it needs to be our goal.
Yeah, it is difficult, but why is it difficult? Is because teachers don't want to, or what are the reasons why?
I think, teacher, that the main problem is that for example, I work in a private school, and the owner of the school is not actually studying about the real problem. So they already have this goal in their mind, that they are working like this for a long time ago, and they are just interested in gain money, in the money, but they are not thinking far less. So I think this is the main problem. I think that the directives of the schools, they need to be redirected for these new goals that the nation need to get.
Yeah. Okay, and what does it mean? I mean, you are saying that these administrators of the schools are seeing schools not for educational purposes, but for another point, for economic purposes,
But
right?
also because they don't know about the new works that the teachers in other countries start to work, start to research.
Do
No,
you
they are
think that
not.
do you really think
They,
that they don't know?
I think that they don't know, because I think that they make the degree of their careers long time ago. I think a lot of them doesn't know what
Hmm.
we know now.
Okay, Noemi, thank you very much for your intervention. Let us listen to Carolina, that she has
Hi,
raised her
teacher, I
hand.
would like to talk. Okay.
Okay, Sarah, wait a moment. Carolina has raised her hand.
Mm.
Carolina, are you there?
Yes, teacher.
Ah,
Hello. I'm so sorry. Okay, what is my opinion about the movie? I think that it was like a very meaningful experience because it like led us to identify like which are the main problems that maybe all of us have. And I don't know. I believe that that like what the movie show is like a dream. That's something that I think that all of the education professionals can like yeah like to get. Um, I don't know. I think that the perspective or the vision of education today in our world is like completely wrong because we think that we have to build like to transmit or knowledge to our students, and actually that's not the real goal. We have to like guide our students to like to be adaptive, to be like yeah like we have to show them and to guide them like how to get the abilities to interact between each other. And actually I think that this is very difficult because our system like make us to qualify them under like an standardized, I don't know, grades, a scale, I don't know how to say that. And actually those kind of aspects, um, they don't consider the abilities or the difficulties of the students. So that's kind of hard for us. Actually we have grown like with that, I don't know, awareness in our head that like that we are the teachers, that we have the truth, and we have to guide the class, and everybody has to be in silent. And I think that that's something like it's most cultural, I can say. I don't know, that's something that it will be hard to change, actually not just for the system, it's because it is already in our heads.
uh-huh.
So I think that like that's the big mistake and the big problem that we have in our educational system. Actually, as the movie say, we don't educate for peace because all the time we are like trying to make students to be like yeah like to show their abilities, um, and
Competitive.
yeah like to be competitive between them. So that I'll say that doesn't help. What else? I like when they refer to the art process that students have to like have to feel when they are kind of authors of their own learning process. um, and yeah, I like when they say that the school has to be like like an experimentation bank, as Noemi was saying, that they can like look for what they like, and in this way they like can get a meaningful learning process. I don't know. That's my like my perspective or opinion about the video. It was like when I watched the video, the movie. I'm sorry. I
Oh, it's
came
a
to
video.
yeah, I came to my school like I want to do that, but that's very 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 difficult.
Hmm.
And actually it's not just because of the system, it's because of us, because
Yes,
that's already in our heads. So
that's true.
it's very hard to change it. And actually if we want to do it, if we try, I think that it's gonna be hard.
That's true. Okay, thank you, Carolina. So let's listen, Sarah.
Thank
Let's listen to Sarah.
Okay, okay. According with the video, education in Colombia has to improve in many things. Why I said improve? Because during the time that I have taught, I realized that our education system has been trying to do change on a hard effort in apply new contents, new strategies, right? New methodologies focus on students, not on teachers. But this system doesn't educate for life situation. That is, the curriculum doesn't have a signature such as agriculture, meditation, yoga, cuisine, and doesn't offer free activity or free election of these signatures that the students really want to study. For example, I have a niece who studies in a school based in a Waldorf pedagogy. She's in fourth grade, and just this year she's beginning to write on notebooks. Last year she learned about how to plant seeds, about animals, how to feed those animals. She did exercise and she played many things, and she learned through these games. She's really happy. You never see her crying because she has to do a quiz or because she doesn't understand something. No, she knows the basic and important things of life. Maybe she doesn't know social science or the rivers, the capitals, history, political things, everything. But she knows everything about plants. She knows about how to manage her emotions, her emotion of, sorry, or how to help to other classmates. She's really creative. I compare my kids with my niece, for example, and I say, God, uh, why this kind of education is too expensive? Because, for example, my parent niece have to pay 780,000 per month. It's too much money for this education. I know that it's really not a good education, but unfortunately, no parents can pay this money. And additional, getting a place in one of these schools are really hard. But I know I know a case about another student who began to study in those kind of school, and she was in shock because she liked an academic school. She liked other things, or she liked our system education system, and she liked our yes, our way to teach. So I consider that parents had to study which one is the correct school for the kids. Now, I consider that our education system has been fired is because there are many old teachers who are retired, but they continue teaching and they belong to the old school. So they don't change easily or no or not apply the new strategic methodologies or methods. Additionally, the government doesn't invest enough resources. It doesn't want that people be creative, or it wants to manipulate everything. So to finish, I would like to say that no, I would like to mention a face that I found on the video that is interesting, and I consider that these phases is the our mistake in education. The phases said children must be taught how to think, know what to think.
Okay, Sara, very good. Thank you very much. So let's
Okay.
listen to Luis Carlos then.
Okay. Well, I think that it's important to reflect why are we teaching? Why are we hired to teach? And I think that most of the answers um, will be something like you're preparing people to work after they graduate from school, after they graduate from the university. So it's our Colombian focus is not on thinking or graduating people who has nice ideas or wants to be good person, but on making people qualify for jobs. That's okay. You're good if you get a five. You're good if you get a 4.5. Lower than that, you're not good. You cannot pass, or you won't get the scholarship. And that's where I think you'll find most of the motivations. If you want to apply for a scholarship at the university, there's a lower limit for your average in grades. The same, and if they ask you for your average from the grades in school. So it's a thing that comes with numbers, not about the skills you have or how good you're at communicating or how good are you at treating people. That's not included um, in the way then I would go with how do I say the economic system in Colombia works. We're just teaching for them to be qualified for a job most of the time. I mean, schools they will tell you, yeah, we want our students to be good people and everything, but that's not included in the things that we have to teach. Because you have to teach this, and that's it. You may give some change, and sometimes your changes will be well accepted within your bosses, but most of your bosses will say something like, "Oh, like no, with you we can do that. We don't have time. We have to study. You have to be in the classroom, or no, you cannot use the area. You have to." They always come up with something that won't let you mm, be innovative, at least in private schools. And that's more or less how I feel. And I felt really angry yesterday. I I handed it the exam for the term, the final exam for the term, and the principal said like, you know what, that exam is too short. You need to make it longer. Like, why do I need it to make longer? Just to make it more difficult. I said I don't need to make it more difficult because I want to assess if they really got what we did, and I don't need to have 10, 20 questions. Those questions that are there are the ones I need. He said, no, you need to put more questions in the exam. So I said, like, what's the point? What's the point? I would give more questions like the ones that are in there. I don't need more. So at least in private schools we're kind of being forced to work for objectives that are not ours. Are the economics and politics and government objectives, not ours.
Okay, thank you, Luis Carlos.
You're welcome.
Very nice points. Okay, anyone? Anyone else? Wilton, Jaime, for example.
Okay, teacher. I'm Wilton.
Yes, I know.
Okay, well, I would like to say that that video was interesting, but I think it's a little bit difficult to try with that kind of thinking because sometimes that's something that I was asking to myself, because when we are in the classroom, I don't have experience teaching in the classroom or many children, but I don't know what my classmates thinks about this, because sometimes when we are trying to let the children uh, explore or to expose their curiosity, I think sometimes we lose the control of the class. It's just something that I was thinking when I was watching the video, because what is the balance or the line we should have here? Because I was listening to a teacher, and she was saying that um, children or kids can choose when they pass to the other grade or to the other level. They they just do it alone without any help. So I was asking me, how can we get that in our country or in our classrooms? Because it's just something that I was thinking about. I don't know if some of you can help me with this. How can we get the control? And because sometimes we stand up in this side or at the other side, or we are very demanding or we are very flexible. How can we get a balance? It's just something that I was asking about that video, because it's a little bit difficult thinking about that kind of education. I don't think that education can be impossible, but I think it's a little bit difficult, as a teacher was saying, because we we were um, we were teaching at that kind of or with that style. That's my question.
That's your opinion. Okay, right. Thank you, Wilton. Okay, someone
Okay.
else? Someone?
Me, teacher.
Okay, Jaime,
Jaime,
go ahead. Yes, I know.
teacher. I think that the movie was the two points about reality. For example, how Noemi say, and the documentary was the real point is that the education is thing for money. For example, the students is taught are taught for 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 process and work for money, and the education is prepared for students go to compete for jobs or for high levels of in the society, but the education prepare the students for that competitions. And the other hands on the other hand, the education uh, will be like movie want to see. The education will be in a love way. These are the two focus that I saw on the movie. Uh,
Sorry, Jaime, I didn't understand the last part.
the last part is the
No,
another
no.
focus.
Okay, yes, continue.
The another focus of the movie is love, teacher.
Love.
Uh, Love, yes. For example, teacher doesn't matter that the students feel
and that is wrong. The most important is that the students feel and can produce. For example, in the movie, the students can can do that they like. For example, if the students like play guitar, they play guitar, and if the students like nature, they observe nature, and this education prepare for the students for the future, but their future, not the future that the politics or government want for them, but but only future that they want in the in their real life. And but my classmates say is this is a bit complicated, these politics change because the education is is in that way. However, I think that movies and actions like this, or for example, uh, it's not complicated at all, because for example, in this moment we are talking about this movie, but now we know how the education will be, and we can begin to put into the practice with with little with our little kids. Is not only students. For example, little neighborhoods, or neighborhoods adults. For example, I think that this education is not only for students; it's for all people. I think that.
Okay, okay, very good. Um, Now I would like to, before because I have to speak, I have to talk about this, but before talking about what you have said, I would like you to think from a more specific context. I mean, you were talking, some of you talk about teaching English, but some of you didn't mention the English teaching. So now try to focus on what is happening now in English teaching, right? And of course, take into account what you watch on the video. So what are the alternatives? What are the problems? What are the possible things we can do as English teachers for improving the educational system? The specific context that we have.
Teacher, may I say something?
Yeah.
Okay, and it's related to what your question, and also it has to be with just who was speaking, Jaime, who was who about Jaime was saying about the idea of Jaime says, and he talked about that. That we are making in education, we are working for make a product, not a student. So I think that the first step we can start, just as very simple, we need to make our students to feel empathy for the other students. If we start to make this exercise in our classes, we start to build a society. Yes, if we start to care about the other person, I also start to build myself as a person. If I start to build myself as a person, I start to grow, and also I start to focus on what I need, and also to what I want to be. So the first thing we need to care about, I think, is my point of view. I think it's okay, is to teach our students to feel empathy for the other students. Also, a good idea that someone told me one day in English classes. For example, his idea was we can with the readers, with the internet, we can start to have a connections with English academies, with English schools, and we start to make a connection with the classroom in Colombia, with classrooms in USA and different countries that had English speakers, and we left them the students to interact with between them. No, they start to feel empathy. They need to care about what they say. They need to care about how they will make the partner to feel, no, how the partner is feeling what they are saying, and also they will practice English. They will practice English. They will hear good English, and also they can change. Also, we can teach them Spanish. So, but the big point for me is to start to teach our students to feel empathy for the other persons, because now everyone is getting inside themselves, and they are not caring about anyone. So we can start to break this teaching them to feel empathy. That's all, teacher.
Okay. Any other comment about this?
Me, teacher.
Okay, Tanya, go ahead.
Well,
My heart.
I noticed that well, in especially here in Colombia, the government, I don't know how to say, como que le están apostando to the bilingual program, and how to create laboratories, special classrooms to teach English. And it is a good point of view for me, because we need to prepare the students um to, well, I mean, in context, in the second language, in cultural aspects, and the schools help us as a teachers to create that spaces, to, I don't know how to you say, how do you say, yeah, to contextualize the students with all the English process, not just to teach a language. And yes, basically, it's important to I don't know, I love the idea to
Mm,
teach cultural aspects too, because
yes.
that's the idea to teach English.
Uh-huh. That's true. Okay. I
Teacher,
understand your idea. Your idea is that we have to not only teach the language, but how to use the language with a purpose.
Yes, and
Basically,
adapt the English. Yes, I'm sorry, and adapt the English from the necessities of the
uh-huh.
student.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much for your comment. I
teacher,
think that Luis Carlos has raised his hand. So please, Luis Carlos. Es que algunos están levantando la mano.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you. Don't worry. Well, I want to say two things. One, when it comes to teaching English, I think we must keep in mind an objective that students can achieve in real life. Okay, well, I know present simple present, or however you say. I use it for facts, routine, general truth. Okay, but when will the student use that in real life? See, okay, no, the student will when he's talking about himself, making a presentation, a personal presentation, writing a profile on Facebook. That's something that help a student approach the real life, a real communication, a real communicative situation. And number two, and bringing back what Noemi just said, some days ago I was reading about something called global citizenship, and it talks about being not just aware of where you live, your city, but also about the whole world. That you, that your world is wonderful. There are many cultures that even if I'm not close to Mount Fuji, sorry, I know that exists, and I can be wondered about the things that all scattered in the globe. So and so for that they said that we need to develop five essential skills for global citizenship. One is curiosity about the world, about what happens, about different cultures. Critical thinking, participation, because you cannot just be there, exist, set apart, but be involved in what goes around, what is going on. Communication, because students need to tell things. They need to tell things. They need to communicate with each other what their opinion, an argument, what they don't like, etc. And also conflict resolution. If we achieve those five skills in our students, maybe we would see different interaction between them. They would maybe care about each other. They would accept their differences, and so on.
Okay, thank you, Luis Carlos. Anyone else?
Teacher, me.
Me.
Okay, well, Jaime, go ahead, go ahead. And then
Teacher,
Carolina, okay.
I think,
Okay.
okay.
Jaime, go ahead.
Teacher, I think that teacher, I think that the most approach near to this reality about the movie is, for example, collaborative work, because me, for using collaborative work, students can say that 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 one that they want to work, and who want to work, and his opinion is taken into account. And for example, for teaching English, yes.
Okay, thank you. Carolina?
Okay, teacher. I will say that I completely agree with Luis because I can like relate that with my own experience. Sometimes I feel like I have to teach to my students like all the grammatical structures, vocabulary, and all this kind of stuff. And and when I, for example, when I watch videos or movies like this one, or when I read like different articles or okay, whatever, I want to like to wake up and like, oh my god, what I'm doing, I have to teach my students to speak, to express their opinions, their own experiences. And actually, for example, this week when I was recording my class, I did an activity where they have to explain and to talk about a special moment in their lives. And actually, I was as excited as them because they use like simple words and like short sentences, but they did it. And I was like, you see, we can speak in English, we can do it. And actually I was thinking like, is the grammatical part like that necessary in like in their learning process? For example, like to fill all the books, it's that really necessarily to like to teach our students the foreign language? I don't know, that's something that sometimes like makes me feel like really bad because I think like what I'm doing with my students, because I have to accomplish like an objective that the school is like proposing, but that's not what the students need. So that's something that I don't know, like make me feel like bad, and sometimes like um culpable. I don't know. That's kind of
Guilty.
yeah, guilty. Yeah, it's like a big problem, and I deal with that like all days because I'm like, okay, I will do what the school is saying or what I think it's going to work and it's going to be better for my students.
Very nice reflection. Okay, someone else? Or can we continue? Okay, so we are going to continue. I have to tell you a couple of things. Uh, Sorry in advance because I know that I talk too much. First, thank you for the comments, okay? They are very valuable. You go to the point, or you went to the point, and I don't know if you have realized this before, right? I want to retake some of your comments to say that education nowadays has a very big problem, and it has to do with neoliberalism. Neoliberalism, you know that it is the tendency of seeing everything as an economic, with economical purposes, and when education turns into an enterprise, because you know, some of you mentioned, most of the schools, what they want is just money. Most of the schools, I'm not talking about all the schools, but most of the schools want money. So what is the best way to get money? Is by being the best in the market. You know that the promotion, okay, you, when you buy something in the supermarket, you try to look for the best product. And how do you know that this is the best product? Because it has the best reputation, the best scores, uh, like the best publicity, advertisement, and everything. And the same happens with the schools, unfortunately. So, what is the best school in Colombia? How do you know that this is the best school? It is
According to
because,
what?
yes, according to
Oh,
what?
sorry.
Exactly. No, don't worry, Luis Carlos. But that's a very good question. According to what, and according to who, to whom, right? Most of the times, when you see that a school is very good, is because it has the school has the best scores in the national exams, right? In ICFES. So those scores give you the idea that the school is very good. But what does the result of those scores tell you? That students are very good at answering questionnaires, at answering exams. But do you really think that the school is providing education as such? Not only the
Yeah,
training to answer the exams, but education as such? So that's one of the points. They want to be the best because they want to ask for more money. You see? I don't know, Luis Carlos, you were about to say something.
yes, I was going to digress a little bit, but it has to do with the topic. Um, yeah, I work in a school called Philadelphia in here in Cali, and it was too strict. It is a difficult place to work because the directors want everything to be super perfect. They have super high scores, and I had to quit. I remember in one day I passed out of the stress I had. I blacked out, and I said, okay, I can't continue with this. But it reminds me of I had a relative that studied there. It's a far relative that studied there. He has special needs. For him, it's difficult to remember information just by memory. He cannot just do that. He needs to comprehend thoroughly the topics and repeat and repeat and repeat many times, and they don't do such thing. And the kid was super stressed, was super frustrated. He still did good, but the kid wasn't okay. He wasn't feeling well. And I remember that at the end of the year, they said, okay, you're promoted. They told him that he was going to be promoted, but as the next year started, we would have to give in a workshop. They gave him like 20 pages of only one subject, and then the workshop was for like 4 or 5 subjects. Like, really, do they have to do like 20 pages of exercises and research and going in the internet and writing stuff just because they have difficulties or they're struggling? So I think the problem is in how they're educating, why are they educating for, and why do they want to measure that, as you said, for the national exams?
Yes. And actually, that measurement is unfair. I mean, if you put everything in on uh, on the table, you can see that not everybody in the same classroom is the same. Even in this classroom, this is a virtual classroom, but everybody here is the same. It's not the same. And I cannot measure you in the same with the same criteria, let's say, because I am measuring people, and measuring people is not possible, right? So that's the point. Maybe I don't know if I a little subversive, but I have to say that that's the point. We have to think about what is happening in education nowadays. Education is a business nowadays. So what the schools want is to be the best. What is the cost? That the students are going to feel frustrated because they are not going to go to the school, as you said, and as the video showed, to enjoy life. They are going to be in the schools just to learn how to behave and to learn how to answer certain kind of exams just for getting certain kind of results. And at the end of the day, it is neoliberal thought again, because what they want, as Luis Carlos said, because this is one of the things that Luis Carlos said, what they want is to educate people or train people for working, not for thinking. Yes, or you said more. Uh, or another person said the same. It is for working, not for thinking, and this is the problem. So that's my invitation to till this point. Think about your classes, and as one of you, I think that Carolina and Tanya mentioned, the English classes doesn't have to do only with grammar rules, because again, we are going to fall into this routine of train people just to answer certain kind of questions or certain kind of answers or exercises, sorry. But we, as English educators, English teachers, we want to really work with people, and that means, and that implies, that we have to give them the chance to express themselves. That's why my maybe when I say try to make your lesson plan a little less grammatical, let the students to do more things than stick to the book. Try to do things that go towards their way of thinking or their way of seeing life, because it is important, right? For me, from my perspective. Yeah. Additionally, I want to say something else. Carolina said something that, and it is that maybe the problem is has to do with us as well. Okay, we are the problem as well, because first, we don't see how educational systems are working, and second, although we see something, we don't want to do something different, because the way things are is the way things are. And because the way the school, let's say, dictates we have to do, it's the way what we want to implement. However, we have to still thinking, what other alternatives do students have to learn? This is our duty as professionals. This is our duty as um, educators, more than teachers or more than trainers. Do you understand the difference between educator and, and trainer? Yes? Do you understand that difference between educator and trainer?
Well, when you're
Trainer
a
is
trainer, go ahead.
okay. I was gonna say that training is when you are you're making the students answer your purpose. But when we are educators, is because we are generating some spaces and things like they where they can explore, where they can imagine, where they can uh, get the knowledge, but by themselves.
Mhm. Okay. So in a way, I don't know if you have heard about Freire, Paulo Freire. Have you heard about him?
I
Have you read
remember I've heard his.
Have you read
Right.
something about Freire?
I don't remember years, but a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, why do I mention Freire? First, because some of you said that I think that it was Sarah that we tend or schools tend to take methodologies, strategies from other countries, but we don't use methodologies adequate for our context. Freire proposed
Mhm.
a more liberator education. Let's say education in the sense that try to have students think that they are free. They are free to think. They are free to express. And this is a way of seeing education from this continent because Freire is from Brazil. And he created the kind of school and the kind of education that it is critical pedagogy, right? In which critical pedagogy is to see the reality, see the world, and try to understand it, and try to criticize it, and try to see why do I have to do this thing or why do I have to do the other thing. Make decisions by their own.
El chino.
Yeah. Dania, I'm going to close your microphone. Okay, that's good. Right? So if we think about that, we can say that our classes, English classes, although I am going to say this, grammar is very important, vocabulary is important, pronunciation is important, but it is not that important rather than try to educate people, right? This is my first point. Yes, for example, in this class, if my purpose is that you to become good teachers, I can train you, right? I can say exactly what steps you have to do in your class in order to be effective, right? In order to have the control. This is something that we don't ask to have the control. Do we really need to have the control of the class? I think that we have to manage the class, but
Yes.
control is something different. And control is an idea that is very restrictive to the other. If I control the class, it's because I want you to do the things I want, right? This is the controlling. So we have to think if we want to control, if we want the students to do something that I want, or when, as Rafael said last class, if we can provide opportunity they to express as well and they to propose as well, right? Another thing that I want to say, and I think that we are going to finish with this idea because I mentioned this before. I talked too much, and okay. Carolina said in a moment that we tend to think about education that education cannot. Education system is as it is. That is normalization. That is the name, normalization. So we see that the education system is restricting children from being themselves, that it is taking away the creativity of children, that it is training children in order training children to be workers, but we see that everything is normal, and nowadays it is normal, and this is the way that things are. But this is not the way things must be, right? So with the little changes that we can do in our classes, I am not saying that you have to be subversive in the sense that you are going to fight against the administrators of the school and everything, because it is not the point. but subversive in the sense that you can change a little bit your class in order to provide the students that opportunity to think and express themselves in a freer way. This is going to be the change that you can give them, right, to the education. You can give to the educational system. It is not easy. It has to do with thinking differently as well. It has to do with re-examine what we are doing. That's why I want to do the exercise next class. I want you to watch your videos and pay attention to what you propose and pay attention to your students, what your students are doing. What are your students proposing, expressing, giving to the class, right? So more or less, this video let us think, mm, what kind of things do we need to change? This is my opinion. When you read, if you read one of the papers that I wrote, the one that I recommend you last class, that it is from the doctorate program, you are going to see that there are many things that are not correct in education, not even in this education, because my focus is not schools. My focus is universities. My focus is the teaching programs like this one. And I can say that in this kind of programs, you are not you are not being taught to think. You are being taught to reproduce. Yes, if you think deeper, right? And this is something that we have to contest as well. Okay? So I don't want to talk anymore because I believe me, I can speak about this topic the whole night, right? Final remarks. Do you have any final remark?
Sure, I would like to say something. Well,
Yes,
it's
go
going to be
ahead.
short. It's
Yes.
going to be very short, but I would like to mention that something that we can do, and I would like to do it when formally, with the help of God, I'm going to be in a school, yeah, officially, is to like to promote the outdoor learning. I think that is a good way to start to change like uh, always the way we teach and we was taught
Mhm.
because we were taught because in classrooms, well, I think it's very stressful.
And restrictive.
uh, yeah. For example, a student, they are sat down like for 5 6 hours, and they get stressed, and we don't, as teachers, we sometimes we don't see that. And the point is that they get stressed, they don't want to study, they don't want to do at the 6 hours of class, they just want to go home. Just for example, sometimes teachers don't let the students go to the bathroom, and that is like a crime because many of them, they have needs, they have to go to pee, they have to go to poop, and teachers
And
just
to
don't say,
puke.
yeah, yeah. They just said there is no permission to go to the bathroom. It is the first thing that sometimes teachers said, and I realized that when I was working last year, it was a problem because, well, sometimes students, they didn't go to the bathroom. They just went to another part, to the cafeteria, or I don't know, they just want to be free for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that many teachers do that when they get to the class, when they get to the classroom. Okay,
Yes.
5 minutes to go to the bathroom, or just, well, the more conscious teachers say that 5 minutes to go to the bathroom. The evil ones, they say no permission to go to the bathroom. 2 hours and no permission. 2 hours of class, no permission. Oh my God! So students, they get stressed about it, and when we promote outdoor learning, I think it's different because they learn in contact with the nature. They learn in contact with the context and the what they see every day, and we can create actions and activities that promote that kind of learning. So what I think is that we have to be very creativity or creative, sorry,
Creative.
and to creatives to promote this kind of learning, to create or to build, to construct different activities with the students. They also can propose what activities they want to do. I don't know, playing with something, or creating a different sport, or playing a sport in English. For example, I don't know, baseball, basketball, but everything in English, or soccer, or I don't know, yeah, or an international sport, but playing with the rules in English, something like that. So the thing is that we can create different activities, different things for the students to they get relaxed and they feel free, and they see learning like a different way, and they can enjoy learning. So it is not just being on the classroom, inside the classroom. And I agree, teacher, with what you said, that in public schools they are more freedom. There are more freedom because I was teaching a public school, and teachers can do anything they want. If they want to get out with the students, they can. If they want to do something different, but inside the school or outside the school, they can do it. It's just that it has to be a responsibility for the students and all that. But there are more freedom, and we can do different things. And what you said, that in private schools is very difficult because of the rules and everything, and etc. So, teacher, it was that I wanted to say about the outdoor learning.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Rafael. I
Thanks to
was
you.
I was thinking when you were speaking about schools and that restrictions school has have, sorry, and I was remembering another author, that it is Michel Foucault. Have you ever heard about Foucault?
No.
No,
Yes,
Yes, I
teacher.
have heard his name.
yes, Foucault.
The-
Foucault is
No
a very
teacher.
famous Foucault is a very famous philosopher. He is
philosopher.
French, yes, and he compares in a certain extent, and you have to see this comparison, uh, that schools are very similar to a jail, and if you pay attention to the structure of the school, it is very similar. Not all the schools, but most of them are very similar than a jail, even in the way they are built, because they are like built in a square, and in the middle there is the courtyard, right, the playground, or those things. And when you go around the school, you can watch all the students, and you can watch what they are doing, right? And those kind of restrictions that Rafael said about not to go to the bathroom or to the toilet, or not to go out from the classroom. This is very, very similar to what happened at a jail. They cannot move from their desks. They cannot stand up. They cannot talk. They cannot they cannot do anything, right? So this is very similar and very restrictive. And
Yeah, like robots.
yes, exactly. It is like the movie. Do you remember,
Yeah,
or the video,
yeah,
like
yeah,
Another Brick on the Wall? Pay
yeah,
attention
yeah,
to
yeah.
that video again. Watch that video again and try to think about that. It is like a factory. Yes, the school is like a factory doing a product in a series. Yeah, it is more or less like that. Okay. Anyone else?
No, teacher. Just I want to remember you to remember me, please. The first philosopher or writer you talk about, the Brazilian one.
Paulo Freire.
Operator.
Okay,
Paulo Freire.
thank you.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys. I don't want to spend no. I don't want to take you here all night long. So I want to close the class here. If you want something else to say, or something else to to reflect about, eh, we can discuss it. Okay, anytime, next class or any other the other classes. Okay.
Teacher,
Okay,
for next
teacher.
week, it's only
The
the
video.
questionnaire.
Which questionnaire?
And
Ah,
no, this is for the
yeah,
next week.
yeah.
The
No,
video is
for this
for
coming
this
Sunday.
Sunday, yes, but the next week is
Yeah, it's only the
question.
questionnaire, the reading, and we are going to discuss next class. We are going to discuss about the videos, and after the readings, we are going to discuss about the readings. Okay?
Okay.
We are going
Teacher,
to
a
make it.
question.
Sure.
The
Yes,
video is
Manuel.
for this Saturday or for this Sunday?
The video could be until Wednesday.
Wednesday of the next week?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Teacher, for next class, are we going to watch the video?
No, we are
I
not going
mean,
to.
like
I mean, yes. It is supposed that you
the
have to
class?
watch your own videos, okay, but not in the class.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but you said that we were going to like to watch the video, all of us, and analyzing. That is, or
Sorry
no?
again.
You said that we were going to like to watch the video, for example, a class of a partner, and to analyze what we do,
No,
what the
no,
students do.
Rafael. No. You are going to watch your own video and try
Okay,
to reflect upon the things that we discussed today, right? Do you
okay.
understand those kind of?
But this
So, but
activity
don't
is
we have to
next
fill a
class.
form, like the reflection form or something like that? No.
Don't do that yet. No, don't do that
Okay.
yet. We are going to do it later after the discussion. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just want to be sure. I have time to send the video class for this week till the next Wednesday.
Yep.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Any other question?
Yes, I confused with that Rafael and you said about the analysis of the video. The next class we are going to work on. We are going to talk about the videos, okay, right?
Yeah. Your own video.
Okay. Rafael said about format.
No, we
This
don't
is
have to fill in on any format.
Okay.
Because remember that the last semester we work on reflections. We are going to work on reflection this week, this semester as well, but not in the same way.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, teacher. Thank you for the
Okay,
space
teacher,
and the
thank you so
opportunity to
much.
talk.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for letting me speaking about what I like.
Same, teacher. Thank you for letting us express our things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys.
We spoke more than you.
Yes.
No, and believe me, I can speak a long time about this stuff.
No, but it is good to hear you. It is good to hear you. You are very critical and well, critical thinking you have.
Yeah.
Critical, yeah. Kind
because
of.
after we saw the video, we want to speak with everyone in the house, but not everyone is the same as interested.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very
Thank you,
sad.
teacher.
That's very sad.
Have a good
Okay,
night.
guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend, and see you next class.
Thank you
Okay,
for that.
Thank
bye.
Thank
you.
you.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.